Mark Twain is one of the most well-known authors of both American literature and literature beyond. Born as Samuel Clemens in Florida, Missouri on November 30th, 1835, Clemens started his career in writing by becoming a printer's apprentice as a child in the town he grew up in, Hannibal, Missouri. Following that, he began to write for his brother's newspaper, the Hannibal Journal, in the year of 1847. Clemens frequently traveled the United States as a newspaper correspondent and a printer. His occupation brought him to various cities such as New York, St. Louis, Philadelphia, and Cincinnati. However, this was not Clemens' sole ambition. His life dream was initially to be a steamboat pilot. He eventually came close by apprenticing a pilot until the start of the Civil War, when river trading became obsolete. Clemens then attempted to become a soldier in the Confederate Army, but then later dropped out. Twain tried other occupations such as mining before returning to his later and famed career of journalism and writing.
Twain's first big literary break came in 1865 with the publication of Jim Smiley and His Jumping Frog.
It was a huge success and was printed and reprinted all over the country. His first bestseller was Innocents Abroad, which was published in 1869, and is still very much one of the most successful and widely renowned travel narratives of American literature.
Mark Twain's best-known and best-loved books, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, published in 1876, and Huckleberry Finn, published in 1885, are probably the reason that Ernest Hemingway famously said in 1935 that all American literature comes from Mark Twain.
Huck Finn shows the possibility of making genuine moral changes in a world that's dominated by racism and other forms of human folly. It also was a book that was able to capture the vernacular speech of different classes along the Mississippi, and Twain was the first person to put this kind of vocabulary into American writing.
Samuel Clemens adopted the pseudonym Mark Twain in 1863. This was the first of many, and was the name of a Mississippi steamboat leadsman and signified safe water for a steamboat. An additional pen name was Thomas Jefferson Snodgrass for a series of comedic letters. Populism was a political movement involving the farmers and working class of the late 1800s, which focused on the needs of the average man or woman. Populism can refer to any speech or written work that contains the style of targeting the typical common folk, as opposed to the higher class, who were blamed for the lower class's misery. Twain was alongside the populist writers, as he typically included many traits of the common people in his writings. His writing took advantage of the literary element of local color, which means he included correct dialect of the areas, issues many families faced, and even mocked the higher class. Twain never had a formal education in writing at any university, so everything he knew he learned firsthand from his upbringing.
There was Pap, looking wild and skipping around every which way, yelling about snakes. He said they was crawling up his legs. He would give a jump and a scream and say one had bit him on the cheek, but I couldn't see no snakes. He started to run round the cabin. I never seen a man look so wild in the eyes. Pretty soon he fell down panting, and he rolled over and over, kicking things every which way, and striking and grabbing at the air with his hands, and screaming and saying there was devils a hold of him. He laid still a while, moaning. By and by he rolled out and jumped on his feet, looking wild, and he seen me and went for me. He chased me round and round the place with a clasp knife, calling me the angel of death and saying he would kill me. I begged and I told him I was only Huck, but he laughed such a screechy laugh and roared and cussed and kept on chasing me up. Once when I turned short and dodged under his arm, he made a grab at me and got me by the jacket between my shoulders, and I thought I was gone, but I slipped out of that jacket quick as lightning and saved myself. Pretty soon he was all tired out, and I dropped down, and he said he would rest a minute and then kill me.
In Huckleberry Finn, not only does the narration and dialogue contain dialects of the uneducated, the children of the area, and slaves, but includes the flawed vocabulary in the first-hand spelling. Twain shows a boy having to deal with an alcoholic father, which was not uncommon for those times, and having to leave school and end up running away from his father for safety. Twain counted a lot of realistic scenic details, such as the river regions of Mississippi and local towns. Local color and humor were mixed into this and many other novels. Churches of the time were often portrayed and mocked by Twain, accusing them to be hypocritical. He showed rich families as barbaric and absurd against one another, and the uneducated as easily brainwashed when lied to. All of these represented the makeup of society and what it was accurately like. All of these examples were Twain's way of portraying the populist ideals in what they faced every day alongside the struggles of the common family. The lower class loved his works, as they felt it was very indeed close to the truth of how they lived. It brought a new version of modern American literature and really set the theme of realism that was ideal to the common folk and populist